Welcome to another episode of the Pencil Pushers Project. This is episode 50. First and foremost, we thank you all for tuning in to today's episode. I go by the name of Jay, and I am joined by my co-host, friend, brother in spirit, Zay. Good to see you, man.
What's good, man? It's good to see you. How are you feeling?
I am feeling pretty good. Pretty good, actually. It's been a pretty good week overall. I'm not going to get into too much details because we're on the clock here, but excited for festivities this evening.
Oh, it's going to be lit, man. It's going to, put in a lot of work. I like throwing events, honestly. I don't do it that often, but when I do, I try to go all out.
There we go. You should do it, every now and in between. It kind of makes it more memorable.
Yeah.
So we got a game night that we're going to be rocking this evening. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you again for tuning in. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, we primarily discuss current events, movies, music, TV, sports, so on and so forth. Not much to talk about this week, but we will go ahead and do our best. So I was thinking about something, man, and I wanted to just kind of ask you real quick before we get into the topics. So, we love our parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
We love our parents to death, and there's always just one thing that just kind of grinds your gears, and I wanted to ask you, what's one thing about mom or dad, either one, not to be both of them, but either one that just like, man, I love you, but
goddamn.
Yeah.
My dad is ridiculously cheap. And I mean, like, his cheapness knows no boundaries. So I got so many stories. I'll tell you one.
Give me one example.
So when I was like 16, my dad took me to Goodwill. Not me. Like, he was going there for himself. And I didn't know what we were there for, honestly. It was me, my boy Jaquez, and my friend Justin. And he left us in the car because we didn't want to go in there. And he was like, yo, I'll be right back, whatever. I saw something I like. Never told us. I thought it was, some people go to Goodwill and they get like appliances and shit, like stuff like that. I thought that's what we were there for. Tell me why. This guy walks out the Goodwill with a whole different shirt on. One of the auto shirts from like GM with some dude named Dale. He's like, yo, $2. He like, that's just one example. He had these fucking Converses, man.
Well, they might have been fire though. They might have been.
They weren't Converse. They had the Converse design, but on the back they said Lowrider instead of Converse All Star. And the circle had like a Mexican dude with some sunglasses.
But who knew but you?
No, bro. You would have knew. Oh. The circle where it says Converse All Star had a Mexican dude on there with some sunglasses.
Without being offensive, El Converse.
Yeah, I remember when he bought these shoes. I was just like, whoa.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. My dad is insanely cheap, though, man. I can tell stories about his cheapness, like, probably all day. Because I got too many examples of how cheap this man is.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask that because my mom is in town for the weekend.
Okay,
she's
that's what's up.
We have some other relatives that are here, and so I went to Camp Creek where my aunt lives at, and she's over there. So we were just talking and chopping it up, and like we always do, and we talk on the phone and stuff like that. And one of the things about my mom, if you ever talk to her, just when you think it's your turn to talk.
Oh,
not quite, not quite. So she'll ask about something, like just about a situation. And then when you start trying to tell her, she'll like either try to finish the story or finish like where she thinks you're going to try to say, or she'll just like hijack it and kind of just start with her. So let me tell you about, I know I asked you, but let me tell you about my version of that. But it's just funny. And then what's even more funny about it is that sometimes she'll just be talking and I kind of like zone out a little bit, and then she doesn't miss a beat. Like 5 minutes later, I'm back in, and the story's just still going. And but it's just kind of funny sometimes because particularly when she asks me about stuff and I'll be like ready to kind of explain it to her.
Yeah.
And by the time we get to, we didn't got so far away from the original question. It's like, yo, I don't even think she really wanted to know. But
she never cared about it from the beginning. Yeah, this is what she really wanted to talk about.
How things been going? Fuck that nigga. Let me touch you. So, no, it's kind of funny. So, she's. I think I in some spaces I kind of get a lot of that from her, but it's sometimes it could be kind of annoying. I'm not gonna hold you, but for a lot of times, more often than not, I just kind of laugh at it now, and because like my brother. I just see a lot of it in my brother. Like when we talk, it's almost like the same thing. Like
he'll just cut you off.
He'll just say yeah. I hear you. Hold on, let me just real quick. I'm like, all right, nigga.
You got it.
Yeah, exactly. Just
So that's what I've learned. That's something I've had to learn this last year. I've had to learn to just say, you know what?
Yeah. Show world.
All right, man.
Show world.
You got this shit. Like I it's something I've had to learn, but it's a valuable skill to have actually.
Hey, listening is actually pretty it's pretty fascinating from the standpoint of like when you just let people talk and then like when they stop, I don't respond right away. And it's almost like they're dumbfounded. Mm-hmm. Like I'm like, anything else you want to say?
I mean,
so
yeah.
But yeah, man. So but no, we love our parents. Shout out to our parents, our greatest supporters.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love my parents.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, everybody got flaws.
Everyone has something
everybody got something
that you think is like, oh my god. So, all right. So let's get into the first topic. Once again, not a heavy week with a lot of stuff going on. We don't want to get into too much of the, I would say the more darker things. I mean, there was an incident in Indianapolis, a shooting in Indianapolis that took place at a FedEx, and we do want to send our condolences to those families who lost those loved ones. So we're not gonna get too deep into that. We are instead going to circle back to the latest episode in the Quavo versus Saweetie saga.
The saga that keeps on giving.
So
I normally don't care about breakups.
I don't either, and I'm only really interested in the fact that she had a verse that was referencing him, and I'm a fan of disses.
Oh no, I want all the diss tracks.
So I was hoping to see what this was about. So apparently there was the song, let me see here. Kendra J had the song called Seesaw that features Saweetie, and in the song, Saweetie basically just addresses Quavo. It's pretty direct. You was fucking with thoughts. She had a play. She did have a bar where, you know how you said you wasn't the woman I thought you knew.
Yeah.
She put that in one of her bars.
She did a flip.
I thought that was kind of cool.
I like when people do flips.
But I was hoping it was like a jab. I was hoping for a little bit more of a sting. So maybe she still cares about him. Maybe she still.
They're gonna get back together.
Yeah. So it was like a light tap. But yeah, it's to be honest, one of the better songs I've heard from her. One of the better verses I heard from her.
I honestly have not heard a lot of. I haven't heard a lot of music from her. Honestly, outside of the Tap In song, I don't really know much.
Yeah, I've heard, like I said, I've heard verses here and there, and like I said, she's cool. She ain't for me, but I was hoping that the smoke would come with this verse, and maybe there may be more later. You know, Culture 3's coming out, so maybe Quavo got some more in the tuck.
I'm telling you, Culture 3, it's gonna go crazy.
Yeah,
so, I really think it is.
So yeah, so I think more will be revealed as far as like the ins and outs of their relationship now that things have been laid out on the table, so to speak.
As long as they keep Culture 3 13 tracks. No higher than 15.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, don't go higher than 15.
I'm afraid they might push 17 to 20.
Yeah, they'll be pushing it. We don't need all that. I'm hoping they learned their lesson from the second one.
Yeah, man.
They probably didn't. So, rich people don't care. They don't care.
Have you listened to any other new music?
Yeah, I listened to the Slime Language 2, the Young Stoner Life, Thug's label. Did you see that picture that ESPN put out about the roster?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh man! So they put a picture of ESPN said the roster, the slime language too, and it had LeBron, James Harden. It was like the whole the Western All Star team on it.
They gotta stop doing that, man.
It was funny though.
It is funny, but I know whoever manages their media account, they're probably connected and they're connected with the social media space. But
I kind of like when companies do that though. I like when companies like kind of flirt with things outside of their usual medium. I've always liked that.
it's cool to a degree. There's a what's the dude's name? Supreme Dreams or RDC World.
Yeah,
they had the clip that they played when they had traded James Harden to the Nets. And they made a skit off of it. They made a skit about that.
With LeBron finding out.
I'm 36. So ESPN had played that, which I think is pretty cool, you know. And I think even LeBron like shared it or whatever. So I get stuff like that happens, and you know, it's cool. It's cool. But what else? You said you heard Slime Language too. What else you?
Conway the Machine dropped the album called shit. I forgot the name of it. It was a Hispanic title. That, bro.
Is it kind of
Conway? I don't know what else to say. Is
it like his more or less like his usual demeanor, like as far as like the production, the sound, and everything?
He switched it up. He has a little bit of everything. He has like the Derringer songs, of course, but he also has like club bangers. He got a song on there with Jid and Ludacris. Bro. Jid needs to drop an album.
La Maquina. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
La Maquina.
All right.
Bruh. Jid got a verse on there. He got 2 Chainz on it. It's a good album, man. But it's making me want a Jid project. Because that man Jid came on that album, and I got stuck on his verse. Ludacris had a great verse, too. Make no mistake. But Jid just a different person. I don't know how else to put it.
No, I'm with you. I think he's really, really talented, and
he had a line on there, bro. He said, "Morse code. If I'm clicking, He said, if I'm talking, I'm clicking." I said, "Bro."
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice. I'm a big fan of his, and yeah. I'm just kind of waiting. Like I said, I'm waiting for these artists to start putting out more music anyway, but. You know, JID is definitely somebody who's been on my radar for quite some time. So,
you know, speaking of that, I just thought of a random question. When you're hosting an event, right? If you know a song is fire, even though no one has heard it, but you know it's a banger, and you know it can get the party moving, they just never heard it. Do you play it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The show party, you play it.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of nervous about DJing. Because I don't play shit that people heard.
Well,
I feel like that's kind of good, though, sometimes.
I remember, I'm not a big clubber, but I remember one of the times that a new song was played that it was kind of funny. When Can't Tell Me Nothing came out, and the DJ played it, he's like, "You got to feel this shit." Like, I don't like it, but I feel it.
I don't like it, but I feel it.
But it made sense though. Like the song is basically like I feel that shit.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest, the song grew on me too. When it first came out, I thought the song was cool, but as I listened to it more,
yeah,
and it was coming on more, I was like, yeah, I fucks with this shit. It grew on me a lot. So, you know, it happens. You know. Especially when you're hosting stuff, you know, just play what you want. Ain't no point in trying to
please the crowd.
Well, it's a balance. Like you have to.
You gotta have that. That's the thing.
You gotta you gotta play the stuff that's gonna, you know, the people can enjoy, but also, you know, stuff you can enjoy as well. It's not like if you're like a DJ, like getting, you know, play with, you know, work the crowd. But
yeah,
also Kendrick has been 4 years, bro. Damn came out like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years, G.
I'm over it. I don't care no more.
We focus to Jid now. It's over for you.
Jid. Hey, Jid has replaced you.
It's over for you, nigga. Go do your PG Lane shit. It's a wrap for you. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, it was I think the 14th or something like that was the 4 year.
That's crazy.
So
that man Kendrick does not care about us.
Yeah, that man what pandemic, nigga? Get over it.
But as far as slang, oh man, I didn't give Slime Language 2 its due. It's really good. It's way better than the first one. Like, it's like night and fucking day, honestly. And the features, yeah. He had some pretty good features on there. He had Drake. But Drake's feature was okay. I don't think Drake cares anymore, honestly.
Drake's in autopilot, man.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. I think, honestly, Drake is at a point where he only cares about his songs, but if he's giving you a feature, it's like, okay.
The thing about Drake is, honestly, and this goes back to like his last few albums, he only need one song to really hit.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
So, and that song's going to hit.
His songs normally in rotation all year.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he can have a 15-track album, and 2 of them songs can go. Not that the other ones are not good, but 2 of them can go, and they're gonna go. You feel what I'm saying? So he's like a Jeff Bezos to me. Like he's like a the rules that apply to most people don't apply to Drake at this point.
I agree.
So he's gonna get numbers just off the strength and features. Just like I said, cruise control. He don't have to He's fed now, so it's like being hungry versus being fed. He's fed now, so it don't really matter for him at this point.
It had Drake, Future, Travis Scott, Rowdy Rebel. I'm really glad. I like that he included Rowdy Rebel. That was really nice to see, and he did his thing too, so it was good. You know who had the most? He had other artists too. I can't remember because it was the roster. It was over 24 artists on this album. I can't even remember everyone on this damn album. It was a lot of goddamn people. He had people I didn't even expect. Kid Cudi. That song with him and Kid Cudi is hard. It's Thug, Kid Cudi, and Gunna. Really good song. No. Thug, Kid Cudi, and some other dude that I never heard of. I'm sorry. It's a really good album, man.
Shout out to you, brother.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
But you know who had the most underwhelming feature? And you'll never guess who it was.
Well, tell me, because I won't.
Future's verse. Boy, we got to talk about it. Well, no, we don't. But just know, because he was killing features last year. So to hear him on this, and this is like one of the first features I've heard him on like a major project this year. Yeah.
Hasn't he been like booed up?
Oh shit, you're right.
That man in love.
He's happy.
Yeah, that man in love, man.
Shit, that's what happened.
Toxicity levels are all-time low.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But him and Lori Harvey broke up, so I thought we were in there.
That's been a time ago.
Shit.
She with
Michael
B. Harvey. I mean, Michael B. Jordan.
Shit. Yeah, man. Future had the most underwhelming feature. I was really excited. Rowdy Rebel had a great feature. Travis Scott had a great. I like what Travis Scott is doing because he's starting to bring more energy to his features. Because we was hitting a period where people were like changing the beat up and shit for him, and then they would like match the song to his tone.
Right.
But lately they've been like, nah, nigga.
No, you
staying right here.
Yeah.
And I like it because it's been forcing him to get better. And honestly, his feature was really good. Drake's feature was okay. But you know what they did? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this album because it's a long album. I'm just picking out the little things that I noticed with trends. You notice how with Drake, like on what's the song he made with Chris Brown? No Guidance. So like how the Drake cheat code. You drop the beat, you give him the heavy bass, and then you let him croon.
Yeah.
You let him cry. So what they did, they switched it. They gave him the hard hitting part, and then as the song went, and then Gunna had this okay part, but the bass drop they gave it to Thug. And Thug killed it. He actually had the best verse on that song. Drake's part was okay, but Thug, I like that they did. It was like the little subtle things they did to switch it up. So, but they did that with a lot of songs, man. A lot of songs I didn't play out how I thought they would play out. The moment I read Drake, I was like, oh, I already know what he's doing. But they didn't do that. So, overall, you should listen to the album, man. It's a really good album. I'm probably going to play it tonight, honestly.
I guess that'll be me listening to music.
That's the easy. Honestly, I could play that whole album all the way through, and nobody would complain.
There you go.
It's a really good album.
Watch somebody complain. What the fuck is this shit? All right. let's move forward. Let's go into. You want to start with Invincible or Falcon and Winter Soldier? It don't matter.
It don't matter. Just pick one.
All right. And once again, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. We will be discussing these shows, and we'll be in this discussion. There will be details from the episodes. So you have been warned. All right. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Episode 5. So we just came off of John Walker killing old boy. He runs to some abandoned little warehouse. Falcon and Bucky track him down. They do battle. It's a good battle.
Really good battle.
Good battle.
They did a great job that one.
Yeah. Overall, a good episode.
I like that they actually made it seem like John Walker had a fighting chance too. That was the thing. Because it's easy to like overpower and then be like, nah, it's over.
Yeah.
But they actually, I thought for sure, I was like, oh, wait, he might actually walk away with that damn shield.
Well, even just the way he was compartmentalizing, like, I liked when they had him when he first ran in there, and you could see his mind was just still all over the place because of what was going on. And he has this thing where he says, let's go to work.
Yeah.
And Bucky and Falcon came in, and he kind of just re-locked in. And, Sam, to his defense, he was like still trying to talk him down. Like, look, man, we can just. There's still a way we can play this out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think John Walker was past it, and I think Bucky was past it. So that was a good scene. Honestly, the whole episode was really good. You kind of see what happened with. Excuse me. So after this whole situation, Dora Milaje, they take Zemo. Bucky and Falcon are now kind of on the bench, so to speak, because of this whole ordeal. So now he's back at home. But to me, some of the best scenes took place as just Sam Wilson, not even as a Falcon.
Yeah, you talking about with the parts when he was in Baltimore, right?
Talking to Isaiah Bradley. That was a really great scene. So
that was a good one.
He went to revisit Isaiah Bradley with the shield, and I think he was trying to make sense of what happened with that whole situation. And he's still struggling with, all right, obviously John Walker's not going to be Captain America now. I think Sam is starting to maybe reconsider, do I take the shield?
Mm-hmm.
And they have a very powerful conversation. And Isaiah Bradley talks about what happens, what they did to him, how they did it to his fellow guys, and the experiments they did, and certain orders that he didn't follow because he was trying to save his men. They were going to bomb the place, and what that costed him.
Yeah.
And, they talked about, what does it mean to be a black Captain America?
It was a powerful conversation.
And he told Sam, look, nigga, you want some nuts. You wouldn't even think about me. He said, no, he said, if you're a black man, no self-respecting black man would want to wear that shield. That's what he said. And Sam obviously respects his point of view, but I think Sam is trying to look at this from a different side of the coin.
If I don't take it, who the hell's going to take it?
Right. Yeah. So I gave it up once, and look what happened. And he probably feels some sort of guilt behind that. So,
I like that they did that because it would have been really easy for them to write something else and shy away from that topic. But they actually did it, and they spent time. Like, that wasn't like a quick 2-minute conversation. That shit lasted like 10 minutes of the episode. But it was a really good scene. And I like that Disney is doing that, man. Like, I don't know. I think Disney, even though they're killing us with the live action shit, I'm starting to think Marvel and Disney are just on two separate paths at this point.
Well, I think that what I liked about this particular episode is one of the gripes I've had with Anthony Mackie's character, or Sam Wilson's character, Sam Wilson, Falcon, throughout the show, is that he's been too almost like comical comedic relief one-liners, and that's just really annoyed me. And this, even piggybacking the last episode when he was talking to Carly, and you see his leadership in terms of how he's able to handle a delicate situation, and he's talking to Carly, and you even see like there's certain instances where he's like, all right, I get your fight, I just don't agree with how you're fighting it. He's also kind of using that demeanor with talking to Isaiah Bradley about wanting to becoming Captain America, and then there's a scene that follows that where he's talking to Bucky.
Yeah,
and this is after they had Bucky kind of understands now why Sam gave the shield up. I don't know how he didn't understand. Like, oh shit, you is black.
Yeah.
oh, I see why you didn't want to get. Hey man, sorry about that. I thought that was kind of funny the way he was like, oh shit.
Duh. I forgot.
Oh damn, they did some shit. They did do some shit. Yeah. So, but one of the things that Sam was talking to Bucky about was about how to kind of make amends. Like, you're over there trying to do things you think is going to make you whole and make you feel better, as opposed to the people that, like, he has that book, obviously, of people that he's killed and stuff like that. So he's like, you need to try to make peace with those people and make them feel better. And it's just, again, this is just another scene that you see the values that Falcon has, and just how Sam has the values he has, and why he could be a good Captain America, because of how he can help people navigate through things without
violence.
Yeah. So, one of my, going back after 4 to 5, I thought there'd be like a taper off of sorts, but the tapering off from the action, the again, great scenes throughout the episode. And I really hope that the last episode, they haven't spoken about a season 2, but I feel like there's enough here to go with a season 2.
Yeah, they probably gonna do a couple movies, let them develop,
or something of that magnitude where it can link to a movie or you know what I mean.
But see, now Marvel, because it was really easy to sideline Falcon and Bucky before, but now now that y'all have established them as like
a duo. Yeah,
now when it comes to these movies, they gonna have to stick with it. Like, they're gonna have to keep expanding on them, and I think they can do it. It's not that I think it's gonna be an issue. It's just I hope the consistency that I'm seeing with the shows, I'm hoping they carry it over to the movies, because I feel like I'm looking at a whole different Marvel right now. Personally, between WandaVision, we don't even know what Loki's gonna be like. I think that and then, like I was telling you before, the fact that they are picking, Marvel had a bad issue with consistency. Like, they'll say thing one movie and then they'll just toss it out the next. But they haven't been doing that with these shows. They'll say something in episode 1 and then it'll come through in episode 8. Like, and so I'm hoping they continue this consistency, because it's really good to see, and it's making better products, honestly.
Yeah, I was like I told you before watching this show, I was really on the fence about it. It didn't really stand out to me as a show that I would really enjoy overall. And the first couple episodes, I had questions, but I think almost like Scarlet Witch, episode 3 is like the episode where they seem to turn that corner. And the last 2 episodes to me have been some of the best episodes from definitely this series, but even some that rival some of the WandaVision episodes.
Yeah, because the WandaVision episodes are really good. So I don't know, and they have 2 completely different tones. Like, they're not remotely the same.
Yep.
What I want to know, do you think they're still gonna have a cameo?
Well, they, I guess, according to some people's report or some people's what I've been seeing, the woman who was speaking to John Walker after he had his sentencing, that she was supposed to be the cameo, as like a Madam Hydra or something like that.
Okay.
But they use like her real name or something like that. But I don't know. I mean, the last episode, there's still a lot they can pack in there, but
Marvel did say that they're gonna bring out a comic book character that nobody's expecting. But I'm hoping. What I'm hoping is that it's not U.S. Agent, because we all see that coming.
Yeah. I don't think so. The postseason credit. It's all but written on the wall that he's gonna be U.S. Agent.
Yeah, but he's gonna be like a darker version, which I like. I like that they're not like solely relying on the comics. They're like taking their own thing, and they're saying, okay, well, this dude's not a hero.
Well, I think he's gonna be like an anti-hero almost. Like because I think he in his mind he thinks he's Captain America, which is in a funny way. He's not the Steve Rogers that we know, but based off of his logic of which a lot of people who are patriotic, who will do anything for their country and government, which he almost basically laid out in front of the guy, like, yo, I did everything y'all asked me to do. Mm-hmm. Even stuff that y'all can't even talk about. Mm-hmm. I was willing to do that for the country. And then y'all just
took away my everything.
Y'all cast me to the side. You know, it's like y'all made me this way. Like y'all, you know what I mean? So it was an interesting scene because that was probably one of the, I mean, even going back to the last episode, I kind of felt a little bit for John Walker. I know people don't like. I mean, he's not Steve Rogers, of course, and I did call him bitch ass Cap in a previous episode that we did, but I felt him.
I did too.
Until he fucking lied to Lamar's family like a little bitch.
Yeah, that was the one. But you know they did that shit on purpose.
I know.
You know it. They were like, nah, this dude still.
You seen that girl though? After when he was hugging the mama.
She knew.
She was like, nigga, I know you motherfucking lying. she gave him that look. She was like, I never did like you, boy.
But do you think Marvel's trying to start taking like more of a stance about like just realities of life now? This show is starting to give me like strong vibes of that. Now, but they're doing it in their own way, of course. But do you think they're like trying to like slowly to like just say stuff? But little shit.
I don't think they're gonna go OD with it, but I think they're gonna start pushing into some of those sectors, some of those conversations, because, like I said, the comic books, you know, the movies have been made to kind of pretty some things up and make things digestible, but we have, you know, Marvel's in its place now, especially after all the money and stuff they done made, and they can kind of
do whatever they want,
lean into those things a little bit more, lean into a lot of those. Obviously, you know, like we just talked about, the Isaiah Bradley and Anthony Mackie scene. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a conversation for people. That's a you know what I mean. And I think that Marvel's going to continue to, maybe not with every series, obviously, but they're going to be able to touch into different spaces. They can get humorous when they need to. They can get more serious when they need to about certain matters. So,
did you see that? This had nothing to do with show, but it deals with Marvel. Did you see that Alfred Molina confirmed?
Yeah. I'm excited about that. So,
even though you know Kevin Feige about to send the fucking SWAT team on his ass.
Hey, so be it. No, but I'm excited. I'm excited about all that.
Overall, man, I'm excited for this last episode. I don't know how they're gonna wrap all this shit up, but because the last one was such a slow burn, so I'm like, and there's one episode left, so I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up.
Well, that's why I think they may be leaving something on the table for another season, because like I said, now it's like, damn, there's a lot that's going on. You know, the Flag Smashers have made their way to New York, which seems like it's gonna be pretty much.
It's gonna be lit.
Yeah. So, I'll let you lead us into Invincible.
Okay, so Invincible episode 6. It's getting real. We watched this show go from lighthearted to pretty damn, like, it's getting pretty dark. Even with the experiment on the humans, like they taking it there. I really like this episode. I'm starting to think Invincible, as far as just a show, it probably has some of the best character development I've seen in the show. To juggle, just how they juggle all the characters. Like the fact that they were able to give Adam and Eve, they gave her own arc. Now she's out in the forest. She's just trying to help the world. And then you see, like, you start to see more of this mentality of these heroes. And I don't think a lot of shows do that. But you see, like, now you're starting to see Mark, like, yo, do I even want to do this shit. Like,
yeah,
you know, you see him dealing with real life stuff, like how they do Spider-Man. That's why everybody likes Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is the most relatable comic book character. Like, oh, he goes to school and he's trying to do this, and you see Mark. You starting to see Mark go through the same thing, but on like a grander scale. Then you see how it reflects his relationships, and then fucking the Omni-Man guy. Whew, this the wife found out about. I like that. I like that the wife found out first. But you called it. You said the wife was gonna find out first.
She did. Well, she was doing the most digging. Like, because the only evidence would be the suit, and you know she's not stupid. And like with most women, when your significant other starts to act different, you get curious.
Right.
And that's what's been happening. She's been getting curious about a lot of things involving him. So she takes the suit to the tailor. The tailor examines the blood on the suit. He gives her the lay of the land. He talks about how certain parts of the suit where there's blood indicates how long, like basically depending on the color of the blood, or indicates like how long, which blood was shed first. He was able to determine that Omni-Man was in fact the aggressor. And Omni-Man actually was kind of eavesdropping on the conversation.
Yeah.
And what was fascinating is that the scene kind of almost gives you like a little bit of misdirection. So Omni-Man approaches the tailor. You think, oh man, you
better kill him.
They have a drink on the roof. So, and I think Omni-Man is trying to figure out how to play it, because the thing is, if you start outright killing people, then it's just gonna start looking, you know what I'm saying? So Omni-Man, I think he knows he can't solve all his problems with just killing people.
And that's the thing. We're about to see him. I think the next couple episodes are going to focus on him more.
Yeah, because what happens is, what's going to happen is, let's say he kills the tailor, then what? Then he kills the wife, then what? So it's like the demon, the dark blood dude is he can't be a scapegoat because they got him out the paint. So he's been trying to use them for the scapegoat for the Guardians. But you know, I think at some point it's going to come to a head to where Mark starts to discover and realize some things.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I'm really interested to see, because he's been trying to live up to his father's legacy, not really knowing what his legacy truly is.
And his father is trying to groom him to where he's like, yo, you ain't with these humans. And you starting to see that more and more. But now it's like, Mark is like, nah, like, I kind of want to just be regular.
Mark still wants to be a kid. He still wants to have a relationship.
Yeah.
And obviously you see the struggle with that. Him and Amber, I think they're currently broken up. They had it's an incident where they went to with one of Mark's friends to travel to meet, I guess, the guy's boyfriend. And there was the incident that happened, and Mark obviously had to become invincible to stop it. But in the process, he was not present. Amber was like, yo, you ran off.
You think he ever gonna tell her?
Is he gonna tell her? Yeah. What I wasn't the biggest fan of is the fact that his friend found out just by like kind of just looking at him for a little bit.
That was cliche as shit.
Who else wouldn't fucking figure it out? If that's all it takes.
Because it's one of those things where it's like the whole show has been unconventional. This has not been like a conventional show, like by any sense. So when you had a cliche shit of the friend looking at the guy and being like, "Oh, you're invincible,"
they could have made it a lot better. They could have made it to where, all right, Mark's fights, he's getting his ass kicked. He gets a particularly obvious injury, let's say like his face or something gets scratched as invincible.
Yeah.
Then he goes back and then, what happens to your face?
Yeah.
That's kind of corny too, but that's better than just staring at him. Oh shit, it's Mark. And then like the way it was kind of fucked up too. He didn't even vouch for Mark. He's like, yo, Amber was mad at him for getting ran off. He could have been like, oh no. I saw him trying to chase down the officer. He couldn't vouch for him or nothing. Mm-hmm. But
They still haven't even revealed what the robot's up to.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff, but I like the fact that they are consistency in writing is so fucking important.
Yeah. So then you have the twins that basically their quote unquote insurance policy is going to they found this grave of the immortal, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's another caveat. Yeah, we're still not sure of the robot's motive, what his actual intentions are.
Cause I thought at first it was to help Monster Girl, but now I see a fucking thing growing. I'm like, I don't know what's going on now.
Yeah. Also, the it appears that the black dude, Samson, I think is his name.
He's quitting.
Well, he literally got his powers back.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what happened. That is what happened. Because he said he was going back to HQ.
He said I felt better than I did before I got my ass beat. He was like, so it looks like whatever they're trying to defibrillate him. It looks like he got his powers back.
Who else? I like that this show has no throwaway characters. Nobody's a throwaway character in the show.
Not really. Yeah, it seems like everyone up to this point has some level of importance.
What do you think of the villain for this episode? I thought it was creative.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting kind of twist. Like I said, one thing I do know about Mark is Mark better get that jiu-jitsu up or something. He better get that.
Yeah, he can
get that Muay Thai, get that Muay Thai up or something. That boy getting his ass cooked. When it was just one of the dudes. The only reason he won that fight because the dude killed himself. The dude realized that he was a monster and killed himself. Mm-hmm. Then he went into that sewer and had 3 of them boys on his head.
I like that they did that.
Beating the brakes off of Mark.
I like that they had the guy kill himself. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too because you still see these guys have some level of their own memories and stuff like that. We're at 2 episodes left in this.
I think it's 10.
Is it 10?
I thought it was 10.
Oh, maybe it's 10. Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
I think it's 4 more.
Okay, well,
it's too much shit because it's too much stuff to wrap up in 2 episodes.
That's true.
It's way too much. They're definitely about to. I think it's 10 episodes total, but I do think the next 2 are going to focus more on Mark and his dad.
Yeah, because now the riff has been set.
Yeah,
Mark's mother is pretty much come to the conclusion that
you did it.
Yeah, nigga, why'd you kill him? And that's how they ended the episode. He had the wine bottle which he ended up crushing it, and so that's that. Maybe he does go back and kill his head. I don't know.
I'm curious to see how the relationship between him and his wife plays out.
Well,
that's gonna be a good one.
Well, that's gonna bleed over because Mark's gonna notice that. Mark can't not see that.
And then you watched it all the way through the credits, right? You saw that last credit scene.
Which one?
The one where the wife actually said, "Yo, I know what you did."
Yeah. And
then he punched the wall and shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He cracked the bottle and he cracked the bottle and he punched the wall. So yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like that type of tension is gonna be evident, and Mark can't not see that. And it's gonna be just another thing that Mark has to deal with. His parents being at odds, him not knowing why, him and his girl on the rocks, him trying to be a superhero. He's trying to juggle a bunch of things that he can't do at the same time without one of them suffering, at least one of them suffering. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the last few episodes because you're gonna start seeing the wheels start turning in a lot of these stories. Hopefully in the next episode or 2 we find out what the robot's up to.
Yeah.
What's Omni-Man's move? You know what I mean? How does he play this out? What's the wife gonna end up doing?
And then the government too.
Yeah.
The government guy, he kind of figured it out in episode 2 though.
And then because the thing is too, all right, so you got so Omni-Man did it. Now what? How you gonna stop him?
Yeah, because they were playing, weren't they? They were testing the blood, and they say, "Yo, ain't shit."
Yeah, they're trying to find a way to breaking this blood. Trying to find a way to, yeah, man. We can.
It's gonna be. I think these last 4 episodes about to be crazy. I'm really enjoying this show. I'm really liking the writing. And I don't know. I'm excited.
I am too. I was gonna ask you a question about. There's a show that we'll keep this brief, but there's a show that's out on Amazon Prime that's called Them, and I haven't watched the show. And the reason why I didn't watch the show is because it's like a kind of like a horror genre, and a lot of the themes are basically kind of connected to black trauma, i.e. racism, racist elements, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I personally, and I think there's been more of a voice of this stance that the whole trauma thing is kind of like getting overdone. So
yeah, I can see that.
What for you? Is that something that crosses your mind when you consider watching a show, or do you just say, I'm just?
I mean, I saw the trailers for it, and I guess it didn't really stand out to me because we already seen, like you said, it's not. I'm not complaining about it, but the issue is we kind of seen this concept less than when did Us come out? That was like less than 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah,
so
Us, and then there's
elements Get Out.
We have elements of Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, Lovecraft
that are kind of in this as well.
And so it's like, I'm glad that we're getting decent shows out of it, but it's like at the same time, I don't want to see the formula recycle. I'm probably not going to watch Them just because I'm waiting on Lovecraft. And there's only so much of these types of shows that I really want to watch, or even the movies. Like,
yeah, I just feel like there's plenty of like these types of shows that have kind of illustrated these things in one way or another. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, it's not that the shows good or bad is not really, it's subjective for me, but I really feel like if the intent initially was to have more shows that, if we're going to use the word representation, trauma is not our sole existence and sole, narrative. Like we can have, I feel like we can, if we commit to it, we can have like a Pineapple Express, or we can have like a super bad, why can't we just have just a stupid ass movie where we just do goofy shit and it's like a comedy that doesn't have to be rooted in like,
And these movies are considered like cult classics.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that's the thing. These aren't like small time movies,
right? And or have like just like some sort of like, or just a sci-fi movie that's not like a sci-fi, but a sci-fi with a racial twist. Just
make it a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, just a sci-fi movie, or just something that's,
I feel like I don't want to insult like black people or nothing, because I don't even think a black person made this, honestly. But
I'm actually glad you said that. We're not even get into that, but no.
But I do feel like it's starting to feel a bit exploitive at this point, because there are other concepts that can be explored. Like, everything does not have to have a damn racial element to it, like you said. And I feel like we're starting to hit a void now with these types of stuff where, like I said, it's not that I'm not. It's not even that I'm tired of it. I'm just not interested. Like, nothing. I didn't look at this trailer and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch this," because we just watched this. Like, and that's what it's starting to feel like. It's like it's like a kickstand for Hollywood at this point.
You made a very, very good point just now. And I would implore people to look into a lot of these recent shows and movies that have come out and look to see who the writers are. You brought up a good point.
I mean, most of these shows, even Lovecraft, J.J. Abrams, Jordan Peele was in it, but J.J. Abrams was in it too. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? And Jordan Peele already had a knack for it. So you throw in I like that J.J. Abrams was involved, because I'm pretty sure he had a heavy hand, and that's an amazing show. But you know what I'm saying?
Because if your intent is to illustrate in a certain way some of the things that black people have gone through, I feel like I don't want to. All right, I personally, I'm just speaking for myself. I feel like we've kind of exhausted this type of method in such a short capacity. Where, like I said, I mean, we can go back to When They See Us. We can go back, and again, this is When They See Us is a true story, but I've read about the story. I've been black for 35 years, and a lot of this stuff I don't have to have known specifically to know what it's like.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, I think there has to be a balance where television and sports, the same way, is a lot of ways is a form of escape from things that we deal with in real life. You feel what I'm saying? So if I'm dealing with it in real life and then I have to watch it on TV at every turn, and then be conflicted with the idea of, support your people. I want to support my people, but I also don't want to have to deal with a horror story that deals.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's kind of the thing where it's like, we have a lot of things we can bring to the table within entertainment with creative stories that are not primarily rooted in racial elements. I'm not saying that you can't include it, and I'm not saying that you can't address it in some capacity. It's just that, I think that there's a lot more that we can offer to the space that can benefit people. Where there's a movie that a lot of people like, The Photograph, and I think one of the big reasons that people like that movie is that it's not like a struggle love story. It's just like a story of a guy and a girl. They kind of meet each other, and it's your run of the mill love story. It's nothing really, I would say, extravagant about it, but it's simple.
Yeah.
There's no traumatic experience. There's no like deep rooted racial element to it. There's no struggle love where, these just I want to say Tyler Perry-ish, but it's not like the Tyler Perry formula,
And if you're gonna do it, like, don't make it the premise. That's the one thing I liked about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier doing it. One, none of us even knew that shit was coming, and how they handled it. They handled it within their own property, and they said because honestly, I never once thought about a black Captain America, and I like the fact that they brought that shit out and said, let's tackle this subject.
They got into it and they got out of it.
Yeah.
They didn't hang the whole season on him being a black man that's going to be Captain America. There wasn't like a bunch of like civilians who were like, you know what? My Cap has always been white.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They tackled a very, very, in the comics, in real life too, a very, very dark premise about the experimentation on black soldiers.
Yeah.
And they approached it, they addressed it, but they didn't make it like the foundation of the show.
Yeah.
So.
And sometimes short and powerful is better than long and mundane.
And the point was made.
And they made the point.
The point was made. You know what I'm saying? There was respect to the perspective of Isaiah Bradley. But so that's it. And this is not a knock to anyone who watches. If you want to watch the show, by all means, if any of those shows, you watch what you want to watch. I just think that there's a way to think about things, and I don't really know what we as black people get from these things that we don't already know. That's just me.
We get to watch it from a more entertaining standpoint.
We just get to see it in 4K.
In 4K.
So
that's it. Like, come on, man.
And that's just my take on it. But all right, let's move along. Get into some sports. Not a lot of sports stuff, but a couple of days ago there was news of Aaron Donald, who is a defensive end for the Los Angeles Rams, and he's a minimum of men. I've seen some of his. I don't know if you've seen any of like his workout videos and shit like that.
Oh no, that dude's different.
He is
Aaron Donald's a different guy.
He is a super soldier. If you want to let's put it like that. Yeah, he's John Walker. He would be Black Captain America if we had one today. But there was a video a photo of that someone posted a few days ago alleging that he gotten involved into an altercation with Aaron Donald in a bar. Aaron Donald and the dude looked so beat up. And like I said, if you know who Aaron Donald is, it ain't hard to see Aaron Donald doing something like that to the guy.
Yeah.
His eye was basically closed shut. Man, face was busted up. What Adrian Brown said, I beat that boy. I beat that boy. But he got the brakes beat off of him. And this is interesting because this is why people, in a lot of ways, you gotta kind of wait for stuff to play out. Wait for things to play out. The Rams didn't panic. The Rams didn't release him. The Rams didn't do anything to Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's lawyer said, "Yo, we got evidence saying that my boy ain't do shit."
Yeah.
And sure enough, a couple of days later, a video surfaced of Aaron Donald actually intervening to break up a fight that involved the dude. The dude was getting his ass kicked by other people. Aaron Donald actually intervened to break it up. The other piece of that is that the dude who was the initial accuser actually swung a bottle at Aaron Donald and just barely missed his head.
That's crazy.
So I would argue that the best thing that happened was you getting your ass beat by the rest of them dudes, and not Aaron Donald. Not Aaron Donald. So you probably got the best part of that deal.
Imagine that. Imagine blaming someone who tried to help you.
Right. And then, of course, the guy's lawyer comes out and says, my client mistook. He just saw the crowd and he saw Aaron Donald and he just... You believe that? I don't either.
Come on, man.
I thought it was...
You saw who was in the crowd and said...
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was a clear money grab. I thought it was a money grab that went wrong. And... just be careful. And I'm not going to compare this to any other case, but what I will say in situations where there's charges, we still got to let stuff play out. Shout out to the Rams for not panicking.
Hell yeah. Shout out. That's what I was about to say. Shout out to the Rams.
Shout out to the Rams for not just going crazy and just waiting for shit. Shout out to a lot of people on social media who just didn't run and, like somebody was like, one of my friends in the group chat was saying, yo, he should sue him for defamation. I was like, all right, but where did this really go? No one really. Aaron Donald wasn't canceled. He wasn't. He didn't really suffer any real loss in the public eye. It was just kind of like a wait and see demeanor. So I think what people can gain from this particular story is that, don't just run to the first narrative. And it could have been easy. Like I said, if you see Aaron Donald, you see the dude's face. 1 + 1 could equal 2 in that moment without letting shit play out. But I'm glad that this is cleared up. To the dude, this is also another lesson. Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
Keep your hands to yourself.
And not easy money isn't always good money.
And this dude is a big dude.
Oh, really?
The dude's he wasn't a little dude. Dude's a big dude.
Oh, that's probably why he was getting jumped.
Well, beyond that, but yeah, he was very belligerent. He was very much like just trying shit you shouldn't be trying. I think maybe he was trying to find his way into some money, and it just didn't pan out for him. That's
a damn shame though. For real, I'm glad the Rams showed restraint because that could have went really bad. Because if they would have been like, yo, we're suspending him or we're releasing him, and that video would have came out, it wouldn't have been good.
I think they should. But what I do think is there has to be some type of
punishment for the other guy.
I mean, he could get charged with assault because he was even like the thing is he swung the bottle even though he didn't hit. He could be charged with assault, but I think even in that case of because I think he was being dishonest, and even like I've seen people who've made false accusations of people. And whether it be like for, unfortunately for like sexual assault or rape or something like that, I think when it's been proven false, I think that person should have some sort of punishment or penalty for false accusation, because that was a money grab in my opinion.
A clear money grab.
And this is a situation where we can say that freely, without any real scrutiny, because it's a guy, but. I think it should apply for women too. If a woman is falsely accusing someone and it's turned out to be, they in fact did that, I think there should be punishment on their end too. Like I've seen dudes who had scholarships taken away because the girl lied and said that, you know, they did something and then she came out and said, "Oh, I made it up." Dudes didn't get their scholarships back. You know what I'm saying? They was done for. That was it. And it's just because of the accusation. Court of public opinion, it was done. Lives is pretty much ruined. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like I said, this is just like I said, I think dude got off lucky. Dude was lucky to just get his ass beat by a couple of dudes at the bar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, what game you get on tonight, man? What's your game of choice? Taboo?
I love Taboo.
Taboo? Are you good?
Bro.
I see everybody say that.
Listen,
bro, I know.
Whatever team I'm on,
I know.
we're winning.
I guess. I know.
We're winning.
All right.
But
are you one of those like bike, but the T instead of the K?
I try my best not to cheat. I don't like doing that. And I'm the type of person that if you do it, I'll be the first person. Yo, I even put the timer to the side. I'll be like, yo, can't do that.
Well, my thing is I do the point system. So I lay out the rules, hand gestures, that's a point. Skip, that's a point, like for the other team. Mm-hmm. You know, I give you one warning and then a point. So I try to establish the rules up front because black folks going to be black folks.
I might need you.
Well, you do a dummy round. No teams, just give an example of like things that will be deemed as a ding. So you start doing this whole charade shit where you're trying to draw shit out and like, no, keep your hands down.
Nah, keep
sit on your hands.
Don't say, yo, what is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Nigga.
Yeah, sit on your
no.
Yes.
You sit there, you get descriptive with them words, and you use that brain of yours.
Sit on your hands. So, you know, explain the rules out. Same thing with Uno. You know, establish those rules up front. And the niggas be like, I don't care what the game says. I don't care what the website say, nigga.
This is how I play.
Exactly. So
and we like, go sit your ass in the corner.
There was a whole thing about that, like with the whole draw 4. And it was like, this is actually the rule, and it was like, shit.
Look, I'll be like, yo, go eat, come back.
How Uno gonna tell us how to play Uno? That's what they were saying. that's what they were saying, man. So
I told you, go eat, come back. We'll be playing something else. You can try again.
Can you and your girl be in the same team?
No, we could, but we would kill everybody if we got on Taboo on the same. Like if we played Taboo on the same team, we're winning.
All right, well let me rephrase that. What would it look like if you guys were together on the losing team?
We'll argue.
We're
fighting. We're fighting. I'm not teaming up with her.
Are you all right, so I'm pretty competitive.
I'm too competitive.
So I don't know if it'll be I think in some cases it would be better if we were not on the same team. It would be better if we were not on the same team. Because if we were together and like we lost, it would be like it would be a long night.
Well, the beauty of this game night is that nobody knows each other really. So you can't nobody's really gonna be teaming up. I'm not gonna, and I'm too competitive to where I'm gonna put myself on my girl team or on you or Cedric team, because then we'll just say little keywords and they'll just be like, oh yeah, we talked about that. Like, so
you one of them. Yo, remember when we was in the break room?
When we was, yeah,
break room.
So
Steve was talking about something he had for dinner. Oh, meatloaf.
Yeah, so I do want to avoid that as much as I can.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
With the pairing of the teams, I plan on putting people. That's the point of the name tags and all that, so everybody can get socialized, get to know each other. So when it comes down to that Taboo game, because I feel like Taboo gonna be the one.
Yeah, because I played and since these dudes knew each other. They were like, yo, Steve, so when we went to the mall last Saturday and you went to the button, all right,
yeah.
Okay.
Remember when you bought them Jordans? Which number Jordans were they?
Oh, my God.
Like, no.
Like, a number, nigga, up, give me that point. But
yeah, so none of that.
Yeah.
I really hope I think it's going to be a success, honestly. I'm just hoping everybody, we've already had a couple people fall off, but the people who are coming, it should still be a good one.
Very well. All right, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it. And I know you got to get ready to get the festivities going or get the festivities prepared. So we're going to end on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Pencil Pushers Project. And check the timestamp in the description for each topic. Also, if you're watching the video on YouTube, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. hit the notification bell for new updates on the channel. We appreciate your support. Anything you want to say, brother, before we dip on out?
Read the game rules.
Follow the game rules.
Yeah.
It's enough to read
them.
them.
And follow.
What Uno says goes.
Exactly.
Stop making shit up. Ain't no draw 40, nigga. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. You guys have a good week, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, peace.
Peace.